is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good stuff, Nathaniel Lundy, on this Halloween edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. We immediately want to earn some treats, and the only way to do so is hopping aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus. Plus winner odds are greater on this All Hallows Eve, mi amigo. What you got for me?
Let's talk some hockey here, Brad, shall we? And let me go to Washington and to the man that is now 38 goals away from breaking Gretzky's record. It's absolutely unbelievable what Ovi is doing. He just picked up 2 goals in his last time out, and I say he does it again this evening against the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs will be visiting Washington. Frankly, I like Washington in this game. I might even play them on the puck line. I might take them the -1.5. I think they're going to smoke Montreal. I think there's also going to be a lot of scoring in this contest. I might alt it down to 5.5, but I think we're going to see at least 6 goals. And if I'm putting all that together, and I'm putting together the fact that, he's still got a little ways to go. I get it. It's 38 goals. It may not even all happen this season, okay? It could carry over. But he knows it. The crowd knows it. His teammates know it. Everybody knows it of what he's trying to do in terms of catching Gretzky, which, again, is just insane to me. But I say he scores in bunches. Give me him for another anytime goal to happen tonight, plus 125 at DK.
Hey, a name I've actually heard of. Congratulations, Lundy. You win an additional prize. Oh, look at this. It's a full-size Baby Ruth. It's only appropriate on this Halloween. So put the biscuit in the basket, Ovechkin, and hopefully cash in at a plus 125 juice. I'm hoping for anytime touchdown, end zone spike from Davante Adams at a plus. It's not, no, that's not it. I actually have most receiving yards in the game. That end zone spike's going to be coming. That's a sneak preview, folks, on the Fade 5 countdown. I got it mixed around. I like me some Davante Adams in this game. I like him in receiving yards as well. Plus 275 at BetMGM. And I think it's worth firing off a little sprinkle of a ticket on. The reason being is this. Susceptibility in the slot. That is the name of thy game for the Houston Texans, as Jalen Petrie is a guy that's been burned early and often this year in that kind of coverage. He's given up a 106.1 passer rating on the season. He's also allowed a pair of touchdowns to wide receivers. So, again, that kind of leans into the sneak preview for the anytime touchdown on Davante Adams. Not only that, too, but you look at Houston. They've got up the 6th most fantasy points of the wide receiver position. They're top 10 in most yards allowed to wide receivers as well. I know Adams is, really struggled here the first couple of games, much like the Jets as a collective. And there's a part of me that really is enjoying watching the Jets crash and burn just due to the smugness of one Aaron Rodgers. And I love him being forced to eat some humble pie time and time again. I might have fired off a little action, and this is no lie, it's available. And I guess an additional play, a little bonus time, introduced by the Juice. The Jets to have the fewest wins of any team right now at BetMGM, 30-1. And that is very much in play. If they go south yet again tonight against Houston, the Carolina Panthers, who are the front runners in that category, yes, they're god-awful, but the Jets are right there with them and are very much in that conversation. But to peel it back, recap, Davante Adams, most receiving yards in the game, taking advantage of that soft slot coverage, plus 275 at BetMGM. With those bets on the board, let's get after it with a Halloween edition of the Fade 5.
Number 4.
Oh, wow. Nobody's called this.
Number 5.
Number 5. We went 4. Now we're going 5. And honestly, this is all backwards. For the reasons already laid out by yours truly. I had thought this was going to be on my plus. Read your own damn script that you wrote, Evans. No, I had most receiving yards of Davante Adams, so you got a preview. Numero 5 on the countdown. Adams, anytime touchdown. I do also believe this is going to come. Again, Petrie is a guy that's really struggled in coverage there out of the slot for the Houston Texans, giving up those couple of touchdowns this season. Adams has got 3 red zone targets the first 2 games as a member of the Jets. He's going to be force-fed, and I think there's going to be a real opportunity for him to splash 6 and finally finally get that end zone spike. 9 touchdowns in totals what the Texans have allowed to the wide receiver position this season, though they are number 5 overall on the year in pass EPAD. So a little bit deceiving there. Tonight, it really has got to be now or never. I think the night for Davante Adams of finally, and I've made a wager on this every stupid damn week he has been a member of this Jets team, on the anytime touchdown. Great value at plus 160 at BetMGM. But Lundy, truth be told, you probably should fade me because this is the most bet on player prop as released by John Ewing at BetMGM. So go ahead, fade, or you can unwisely follow.
Well, that was the problem, is that I saw the stats from John this morning and I was like, anytime touchdown, I mean, I get it. Everybody's just kind of waiting. It's an HD bet, right? He's due. And then I saw it was the most bet, and now I see it on the script, regardless of what number I happen to press on the computer. There is part of me that wants to fade you because I want to fade the public and I want to fade the fact that you keep swinging and missing on this, but you're right. Like, he is due, man. He is due. And at plus 160, I'll tell you what, I'll follow. I might only make it like a half unit bet, but I'll follow.
Hey, Davante Adams, for once, be a Halloween hero.
Okay, here's the right one.
Number 4.
Numero quattro. Hey, we can count. We went to school, I think, and actually pass remedial and rudimentary mathematics, but numero quattro here in the countdown. Let's get some more plus money on the board, and let's cue the dance hall days. A little old school Wang Chung classic there in the background on the over 4.5 receptions at a plus 125 juice. And I grabbed this at BetMGM. I think Hall's got to catch at least 5 passes. He's been highly active as a receiver this season. How active? Well, nobody's ran more routes than him on a per game basis this year, averaging 28.9. He's also running around on 74.5% of his snaps played. That's numero uno among all running backs in the NFL. He is numero tres in target percentage at 16.3 among rushers, catching 71.7% of the attempts, coming off the hand of one Aaron Rodgers. He has gone over 4.5 catches in 4 games this year. And you look at Houston, yeah, they give it up the 8th fewest running back receptions at 3.3 per game. But a couple of guys have gone over this. Aaron Jones went north of 4.5. Josh Jacobs also grabbed at least 5 passes. I think Breece Hall, assuming the Jets, I guess this is possible, but I think it's a definitely a long shot. Come out of the gates a storm, in which, again, I just don't buy that narrative unfolding based on the way this team is played. As long as it's a competitive game and the Jets are not comfortably in front, I think Breece Hall catches the over, baby. 4.5 catches plus 125 at BetMGM. Numero quattro, or so we think, on the countdown. Lundy, fade or follow?
I know he's done it 4 times this year, but he's only done it twice in the last 5 games. That's the thing for me. I think you're looking in total, but he came out of the gate that way, and he hasn't done it since. I will fade you on this one. I am going to call for the quattro, the number that we finally found in the little box of where I press the buttons here on the computer. I'm going to say he does actually hit number 4, but not number 5.
Yeah, shiver me timbers. It's Halloween after all, you jackasses.
Number 3.
Numero tres. Thanks, Captain Hook, for the cameo there. So numero tres on the countdown. Joe Mixon is fixing to do some damage. I'm going to take the over at 83.5 rush yards. And truth be told, that's minus 115 at BetMGM. Bonus time. I laddered this sucker. I have it on the standard line. Also have it up 90 or more rush yards at plus 110, and I grabbed that at DraftKings. You want to sprinkle a little action on him getting 100 or more? I think it's like plus 175 around there at BetMGM. I would fire off on that to boot. I think Joe Mixon's got himself a whale of a game because that's kind of what he has done all season long when he's been on the field. You know, he had that absence with that lower body injury for a hot minute, but he's played in 5 games this year, and he has crushed the over on this in 4 of those 5. In fact, in all 4 games in which he's gone over, he's eclipsed 100 yards. So that is very much in play. A guy that gets appreciable yards after contact per attempt at 3.34. It's number 15 in the NFL. If you look at the over-under on attempts, it's 20.5 If you feel that he is going to get anywhere remotely close to that, which I believe he will, chances are he's going to get over 83.5, given the high volume expected. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance. Little Mars reference on that classic there. Look at the Jets, number 21 rush EPAD. They're giving up 4.14 yards per carry and 101.4 rush yards per game just to the running back position. 3 RBs have gone over this, and actually 3 RBs have eclipsed 90 yards against them as well. So numero tres on the countdown, Joe Mixon, over 83.5 rush yards. And that bonus time, Mixon 90-plus rush yards, minus 115 on the standard line, on the alternative line at a plus 110. Grab the first one, MGM, the second one at DraftKings. Lundy. Vader follow.
I like this one. I like the idea of laddering it as well. Remember when this opened up earlier this week, I want to say it was 75 or 76.
It's 76.5, I think.
That's how much movement we've seen in terms of his number, which means everybody's hammering this one, expecting him to go over, which doesn't hurt you with the idea of the ladder, because if everybody's been steaming this thing up, probably means he's going to eclipse it and then some. So I like this one. I loved it on the standard line when it first opened. I did jump on it. Full disclosure, I got it at 76 or 70. Yeah, 76. You're right. But I think this is a smart play to be able to sprinkle something on the 90 as well. And I do still like it, even though it's up at 83.
Yeah, the Jets just refuse to defend in the trenches. We are always writing some defensive stances all the time on the GamingJuice.com. Fade or follow, that, of course, is entirely up to you. We got college football content already cranked out for Week 10 in that sport from Ben Wittenstein and Nate Jacobson. Check out all of their excellent pieces there and free picks. Lundy is rolling out his NHL spreadsheet, updating that bad boy every single stinking day. You know the Ovechkin prop. Anytime goal is already on that bad boy, amongst other plays. My always free and always transparent spreadsheet also lives on the GamingJuice.com. You want fantasy football content? We have that too. I got my personal rankings by position for week number 9 posted there right now. My fantasy flames as well. Top props going to roll out a little bit later on in the week. Thursday night football, some additional picks and all my reasonings already there on site. And you don't pay a stinking dime. You can ask me a question, just click Ask Brad and fire off, and I'll get to that hopefully in a timely fashion. I'm a busy guy this time of year, and you should be busy reading all the excellent content at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash, ... maybe.
Number 2.
Numero dos here on the Fave 5 countdown. Somebody's got to catch a damn ball for the Houston Texans. And I think it's going to be Dalton Schultz. Give me him in the alt market at 50 or more receiving yards and a plus 125 juice at DraftKings. Yeah, I got seduced by that juice rolling the shoulders because I'm gleefully excited about this. You look at Schultz, a guy that's only done this one time, and he did it last week. 6 targets, 4 catches, 52 yards in that effort. You look at the New York Jets, number 13 in pass EPAD, so that's an area of strength, but it's more or less on the bookends. With Reed, with Sauce Gardner, over the middle, you can take advantage of them. They give it up 4.5 receptions and 42.3 yards per game, the tight end position. And a pair of tight ends the last 3 weeks have done this against them. Pat Freiermuth did it. Dalton Kincaid, the Bills, also did it. Schultz, sure, he's only averaging 4.6 targets per game, but that's got to spike. Remember, no Nico Collins. He's going to be back in week 10. No Stephon Diggs. He ain't going to be back this season, done with that ACL injury. So really, it's him. It's Tank Dell. It's like Robert Woods, Joe Mixon in the pass game as well. They're thin. And that means a ripe opportunity for him to really skyrocket the team target share. Number 6 and 8 out among tight ends. Number 8 in total air yards. I think he gets there, man. I love this prop. One of my favorites. So high on the board. It's numero dos on today's Fade 5 countdown. Schultz, 50 or more receiving yards, plus 125. Locked and loaded at DraftKings. Lundy, better follow.
Do you know off the top of your head what his longest reception is?
I am going to say it's like 18 yards.
Okay. If it's sitting 18 might be a little high for me. That might be a tough one. If it's down at like maybe 17 or 16, I think I'd play the over on that one. Kind of correlate with I like this one, by the way. I am following. I'm diverting my answer there. I am following on this one, but I kind of like the idea of the over on the longest reception for him as well, because I think that plays into this. He can do it. I mean, these tight ends are, it's not just, 6 yards and fall down anymore. These guys are moving down the field either before or after the catch. So I kind of like him going over whatever his longest reception is as well.
Here it is. It's 17 and a half. That was a good guess on my part. Available at FanDuel, and it's a light juice on the over at -108. You in?
All right. Yeah, I'm in. I think he can get up to 18 plus. I would play that one. Tonight.
All right. Oh, shucks, Dalton Schultz. Just do something, please.
Number 1.
Numero uno on tonight's feed, a 5 countdown. I'm going to go with Tank Dell. I think he's going to fire off maybe in the game as a receiver, maybe in the game as a rusher. He's a multi-dimensional weapon, but I am going to live in the land down under fools on longest catch, and that number sitting at 22.5 yards at a -115 juice there at BetMGM. How many times has Tank Dell done this season? Let's see. Once! One time! That is it. He is actually at the over on this prop all year long. And I know he's going to get more targets and the workload is going to crank. I already laid it out. That was part of the reasoning around Dalton Schultz with no Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins on the field. But Tank Dell, again, one time he's done this. Number 68 among qualifying wide receivers and average depth of target. Number 68 as well in total yak among wide receivers. Number 86 in yards per route run. He's only averaging 9.5 yards per catch. He does see about 20% of his snaps out of the slot, but he's going to get a lot of DJ Reed, I think, working on the outside. And DJ Reed has been really the strength of that secondary for the Jets, now more so than Sauce Gardner. He's only allowed a 50% catch rate, 9.8 yards per catch, and a 93.8 passer rating to his assignments. The Jets as a collective have allowed the 5th fewest wide receiver yards this season. So put all together, my number 1 play on this Halloween night. Give me Tank Dell, and we're living in that land down under fools on 22.5 yards on the longest catch at a -115 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow?
Ooh, under once.
Yes,
that's it. This is an easy one. Follow. He's done it one time.
One time. It's not going to be 2 times.
No,
yeah, that's right.
It's not going to be. Run with it, folks. You're good. You're good on this one. This isn't what he does. He's a great weapon. He's a fantastic weapon. He's just not a deep weapon usually.
No, he's not. And even Wycliffe would agree. That was a deep reference there for those of you 90s music fans. Let's move on. Bonus time. Lundy, it could be Thursday Night Football between the Texans and the Jets. And can we never, ever see the Jets in prime time again, please? And thank you, NFL. I hate that. Just send that team into the East River and let them sink all the way to the bottom. I'm tired of watching the god-awful team and the smugness that is on the face of one Aaron Rodgers, but I would like to see him cry tonight. Maybe it's in the NHL, the NBA, elsewhere. What do you got for me on your card?
Let me throw a couple things out there that aren't necessarily singular bets, but things that I like. Folks, use Joe Mixon for an anytime touchdown this evening. I'm feeling that one, but he's -145. Yeah. So you're going to have to make it a leg of something else. But I do really like him for an anytime touchdown this evening. Find a way to try to work that into whatever you've got rolling with your SGPs tonight, or you've got a boost or a freebie or whatever. I got a feeling that Mixon finds his way into the end zone. That's a little TYG special there. I already gave you the fact that I like Dalton Schultz on the over on his longest reception. So we'll count that as a bonus time bet as well. Connor McDavid out for 2 to 3 weeks for the Edmonton Oilers with that ankle injury. A couple of big injuries happened over the course of the last few days. Ross Colton is going to be out for a while for the Avs. That puck he took off of his ankle, it broke it. So he's going to be out for a little while as well. But the Avs lost last night. They're still kind of a mess. However, let me get back to that Edmonton game. You know that this team likes to shoot. You know this team likes to score as well. So even without Connor McDavid, I do think that they've got an opportunity for that. They're on the road. They're taking on Nashville tonight. So this is a 2-leg SGP for you with Edmonton. I just need a point from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who will center that top line. And then give me Travis Konechny for Philadelphia. That dude's just a points machine in his contest. So apologies, it's not an SGP. This is a two-legger. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for a point for Edmonton as they are in Nashville, and then give me Konechny for a point with the Flyers at home. That is a plus 178 tonight. So that is a very sexy one. Speaking of sevens, there are 7 games on the board for this evening. So I will have some more in addition to that OV goal that I gave you on the plus bus to start things off. But beyond that, I don't know, man. I was just kind of chilling last night, and then I was like, oh, I got to do a pod with Brad in the morning. So I'll have some more picks for you. They'll be on the spreadsheet a little bit later. I just wasn't doing my homework last night.
And that's totally understandable, man. It's Halloween tonight. Make sure you hand all the candy out to the little kiddos. Have some fun. I thoroughly enjoyed. Unfortunately, I'm going to be on air the entire time during trick or treat here in the greater Champaign-Urbana area. So I'm going to miss all the cool costumes that the little kids wear. And again, it's my favorite holiday of the year, and I'm going to be working. It sucks, man. It sucks. And my kids, they're too old for trick or treat. So I'm going to have to raid the leftover candy, and that's never going to end well for me with that sugar high. I will say that probably consume at least 3,000 calories after the raid.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Complete. So let's get a Team Huevos parlay play on the board, shall we? Here on this All Hallows Eve, SGP style in the Thursday Night Football affair. Give me the alternate under on 52.5 points. Give me Breece Hall, 25 or more receiving yards, and give me Joe Mixon. All I need is 50 rush yards. Uno, dos, and tres. Very simple parlay here, mi amigos, at a plus 120 juice built at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at that under on the alternative line. That's nearly 10 points higher than the standard line. And on the standard, Houston's at the under in 6 of 8 games this season. The Jets have actually gone over on the standard line at 4 of 7. So that's why we're building in a little cushion to avoid any kind of pushing, mi amigo. So I think this game is going to go comfortably under on that 52.5 alternative total. Breece Hall, meanwhile, 25 or more receiving yards. Again, I'm on the over 4.5 catches. Even if he gets 4, I think he's still going to hit the necessary threshold in yardage. The standard line's in the low 30s right now at all the various sports books out there. Hall on 25 or more receiving yards has done this 5 times this season. Again, he has ran more routes than anybody in the NFL. He's running a route on 74.5% of his snaps. That's number 1 in the NFL. He's averaging 39.5 receiving yards per game. Look at the Texans. Yeah, they're only giving up 22.5 receiving yards per game of the opposition, and only 2 guys have gone over this this season. Oh, actually, one. It was one. It was Aaron Jones, who had 46. Similar caliber back, in my opinion, this Mixon Aaron Jones. I think he'll be busy in the pass game in this contest. So Breece Hall, not Mixon, 25 or more receiving yards is the play there. And then Mixon on 50 or more rush yards. You should be able to get to this with relative ease. Again, I like the over on the standard line, 83.5. I like the over as well on 90 plus. I gave you all the reasons why earlier. Do you need another reason? No, you don't. He should absolutely crush this. He may do this in like a quarter and a half a play. So to recap, the Team Huevos parlay play of the day, SGP style, the under on 52.5. Total points in the game on the alt line there. Breece Hall, 25 or more receiving yards. Joe Mixon, 50 or more rush yards, plus 120. Built that bad boy at DraftKings Sportsbook. Elsewhere, bonus time. Let's get some more plus money on the board. Another SGP in Thursday Night Football. Give me Kaimi Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals made. I'll take the under, and I'll take it at 53.5. That total is available on that one. And Houston plus 10.5 on the alt spread. So Fairbairn on the over 1.5 field goals made, the under 53.5, Houston plus 10.5. That's plus 120. And I built that bad boy at BetMGM, I believe, if I remember correctly. There's similar juice at DraftKings as well. If you look at Kaimi, he's hit 90.5% of his field goal opportunities. That's insane in the membrane. He has gone over 1.5 field goals made in 4 straight games. In fact, he's done that in 6 of 8 contests. The Texans, I think, are going to be able to move the ball between the 20s, but they will bog down a couple of times on scoring drives, and Fairbairn will come off the sideline and split the uprights. 3 kickers have done that against the Jets this season. I already gave you the reasons why I like the under on the all total, and Houston ain't going to get blown out. Nobody gets blown out against the Jets. That franchise sucks. They're just bad. And again, in the running, I had the fewest wins this season, and I'm totally here for it, man. I'd love to see it. And I think Giants fans are like, hey, our season's been just as bad, but the fact that Jets are this crappy, that's fantastic. Yeah, go down with the shit, baby. Go ahead.
It's too much. No, it's too much fun. I'm with you. I like rooting against it. And look, I'm not so sure that the total sitting at 42.5 playing the under on just the regular total doesn't make sense. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of scoring in this game, folks.
No.
So if you're going to see something like that, you're bumping it all the way up to 52 or 53.5. You're sitting in a good spot. And if you think it's going to be under, then that lends itself to not being a blowout. Just follow the bouncing ball, folks. It's not that hard.
Yep, no doubt about it. Speaking of the bouncing balls, go to the NBA. Let me give you one quick play in that sport. Jeremy Sohan of the San Antonio Spurs. I love the over on PRA. That's points plus rebounds plus assists. That number sitting at 27.5, taking on the Utah Jazz. Lundy, you've been picking on them already this season, and I think this number is way too low for Sohan. He has done this on the over in all 4 games so far this NBA season. He's averaging 18.5 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, and 3.3 assists per game, and he's getting 32.3 minutes per contest, so plenty of tick there. He went over this number 2 or 3 games last season against the Jazz, and to look at Utah, the 9th worst adjusted defensive efficiency mark so far this NBA season. They've given up the 8th most points per game at 119, the 2nd most opponent rebounds per game at 50 flat, and the 2nd most assists per game doled out by opponents at 29 flat. So Jeremy Sohan over 27.5 on the PRA will yield you a whole bunch of treats and not a trick, hopefully. All right, I got to run to Costco. I got to get more candy, man. I didn't buy enough bags. I feel bad. We're in a busy neighborhood. Temps are going to be probably in the mid-60s here in Central Illinois. It's raining right now, but the skies are supposed to break. It's supposed to be a wonderful night. Usually, Halloweens in these neck of the woods are craptastic weather-wise. You know that feeling in Denver. I remember in my 7 years I lived there, I think it snowed on 3 Halloweens I was there. So, whether dodging snowflakes or you have, ace weather, go out and enjoy it with the kids and the family. And, don't eat any apples with razor blades in them. I'm just got to throw it out there.
That's the best piece of advice we've done in the last 27.5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe probably the most accurate piece of advice as well. All right, we got to run here on the Fade 5 podcast. As always, drop us a little rating and a review when you can. It really helps out the show. Fade or follow us on the X. Lundy, always giving it to you there. At Nate Lundy, I'm doing the same thing. At Noisy Huevos. Go to thegamingjuice.com. Sign up for a free account. Start a conversation. Read some of the pieces. Check out the rankings. We got a ton of content for you to peruse. And as always, until next time, which is tomorrow, fade or follow. That is up to you. Happy Halloween!